What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another chat with Coach Morgan. I am out here at our Functional Health Club Port Coquitlam location. I'm live with all of you from downtown Vancouver and everywhere in between. And a few things. More so, this is sort of a check-in call, chat, live that I'm doing because it's been a minute. I want to just start with a little brief update on what's been going on. If you've been following us at all on social media, you will have seen the last few weeks have been crazy, have been busy with our new location opening up in downtown Vancouver. And we are so excited about that. We've been pumped about this for a while now. It came a lot earlier than we were expecting. We were, thinking in the next few years that we would be expanding, but things happen as they do, and we were able to expand a little sooner. So, we're really pumped about this switch up and this new location in downtown Vancouver. I'm really grateful for everyone that helped make it happen in a tight timeline and get all the things in place that we needed to. We're just really pumped to now have some refinement, some consolidation of what we do as a business and our services and everything that way. So we're pumped for you guys to see it, whether you are currently out at our Port Coquitlam location or if you're just new to downtown location and seeing it for the first time. We're excited to have people come out, see the new space, and let us know what they think. We're really excited about how it turned out. So just want to start it off with that. Now, the main thing that I wanted to dig into today is something that has come up a lot this week for me, for myself, as well as for those that I work with, the clients that I work with. And that is this idea of what can you do today to create your desired tomorrow? That's a very general kind of overview statement, thought process, but generally speaking, what can we do today to create the desired tomorrow? This has come up a lot this week, and it's funny, it always seems to happen this way where, thank you on the new space, appreciate that. It always seems to happen where there's a common theme amongst conversations that I have each week. And there's just these trends that occur as I'm talking with my clients. And that's what sort of popped up this week. And I noticed it for myself as well, because during the creation phase and the implementation phase and the actual execution of getting the new location opened up, there was a lot of this question, right? There's a lot of this statement in my mind of what can I do today to create the ideal tomorrow, right? What could we do today to make the next day, less crazy, less hectic, less, whatever, more productive, so that we could, open on time, so that we could, have the right things in place that we needed to do. And this notion has played true with my clients that I work with, that I talk to every single week, that there's a lot of feeling of overwhelm in a lot of ways, right? Life happens. And especially right now, as always, there's always a lot of things going on. And right now just seems to be this sort of angst leading up to September, right? We got a couple more weeks in August, which is crazy to me that we're already there. But there's sort of this people are feeling like there's a lot of variables that are out of control per se, or there's a lot of things that are happening that maybe they just feel a little bit overwhelmed with. And at the root of it, it really comes down to what can we do today, right now? Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's something that we ourselves need to take action on, to do physically, but it might mean that we need to say no to something. It might mean that we need to delegate something out. It might mean that we need to ask a question of somebody so that our tomorrow can be more effective, can be more efficient, can be more, conducive to what we want to achieve and accomplish in our life. And it's easy when life is happening and things are going crazy and there's all these variables going on to get lost in the macro of it all, to get lost in the big picture of it all, to get lost in the, holy cow, what's going on? And I posted about this yesterday about one of my athletes that I work with who's down in the States touring right now. And, he's going to be touring for his sport for the next 2 months straight. He had a bit of a stint back home, or not back home, actually, even he was just back in Canada for a period of time playing in a couple tournaments. But now he's back down in the States for some of the bigger tournaments to end up the year. And for 2 months straight, he's going to be gone. And we talked about how that made him feel and just the anxiousness that he had about this, because, you know, as much as being a professional athlete and being able to travel and do all those things sounds amazing. Oh, you get to travel, you get to do all this stuff. It is, and it's a chosen life, right? He's chosen this path and he acknowledges that. But there's a layer to that that's just like, I just want to be home in my own bed. I just want to, like, all this hotel stays and living out of a bag and all of that, like, you know, I can get lost in that. And he was getting lost in that feeling. And so we had to pull it back. We had to reverse engineer from like the big macro scary thing of like, holy crap, I got 2 months still on the road, to, okay, I got this week. I have a tournament this weekend. I have this, you know, thing that I have to do for work this week, right? So what is it that I can do today? What does my day look like today that I can execute on so that tomorrow is a little bit easier, so that the next day is a little bit easier, so that the next day is a little more prepared, so that the next day I don't feel so overwhelmed. That is really where a lot of the magic happens in accomplishing the big things. That is where, for my athlete, he accomplishes the championship tournaments, winning, right? The big tournaments that he's participating in, right? Because if he gets lost in the macro of it all and the 2 month thought process of it all, he's going to end up kind of feeling a little bit overwhelmed, and he's not going to be able to focus in on those micro moments. But if he focuses on today and executes today what he needs to do, if he does the things today that he has control over, if he does the things today that he needs to, you know, delegate something out, say no to someone about something that keeps popping up, if he does that today, then tomorrow it's going to be less on his mind. Tomorrow he's going to have more control over his environment. Tomorrow he's going to be able to see clearer because he doesn't have as much noise around him. So that's my challenge to you. That's my thought process for you today, is what can you do today to create a better tomorrow for yourself? Can you do something today? Can you say no to something? Can you delegate something? Can you just finally send that message, do that task, whatever, write that list of something today to create the tomorrow that you want? So that when you wake up tomorrow, you have less pulling on your mind. You have less digging into your thoughts. You have less that is overwhelming you with all that's going on, because there's always going to be more stuff. There's always going to be more things coming into your life. So let's take action on something today that maybe we've been just continually putting off. And it's just because it's a small task. It seems, you know, minor. It seems minuscule. It seems like it's just this little thing, but that little thing can play a big role. And again, going back to the example of my athlete, he really wants to, you know, support and provide services to his following of people that, you know, want to learn from him and be coached by him. But we have to prioritize what is his most important, what's the biggest importance for him right now. And that is executing to the highest level that he can as a professional athlete, because he has a limited time frame for that. But if he is also then letting the idea and the feelings that are within himself, that are created within himself, fester around letting people down, feeling like he's not able to do those things and he's disappointing them, that is going to then bleed into his performance. That is going to affect his ability to perform as a professional athlete. And you could say, well, you got to just, you know, as a professional athlete, you got to have the right mindset. Yeah, you absolutely do. And that mindset is, I got to say no to those things. I got to create some barriers for those things. I got to create some boundaries for myself so that I can execute to the highest level that I need to for what my job is. And that might mean that for a period of time, some people might be disappointed. They might be upset. They might be like, oh man, that sucks, right? That you have to say no to them. But for you to execute at your highest potential, at your highest level, you have to create those boundaries for yourself. So what can you do today to create the better tomorrow for yourself? Maybe that means creating some boundaries. Maybe that means creating some structure in your day. Maybe that means doing something with your schedule that blocks out time for yourself so that you can execute, 10 minutes of mindfulness for yourself to ground yourself. Maybe that means that you block out a specific time that is non-negotiable. I'm getting my exercise in, or I'm doing meal prep, or I'm, speaking with, a friend or a relative or family member that, I haven't talked to in a while, and just connecting with someone socially. Maybe it's something along those lines that you block out and make it a non-negotiable every day, so that feeds you to lead into a better tomorrow. So that creates a beginning of something within you, a fire that's lit within you to grow and continue to build that fire and that flame every single day that you step forward. So again, what can you do today to create a better tomorrow? Think about it. Look at your day-to-day. Write out a list of things. Look at the things that have been on your to-do list. Prioritize them. See which one's the simplest thing that you could just check off. What's that one little thing? Done. Or what's that big thing that's just been putting off? It's kind of scary, it's whatever, it's nerve-wracking, you've been putting off, but it wouldn't really take a lot of work to do, but it's just nerve-wracking to do. Maybe you just need to execute on that and get that one thing done. And that's going to alleviate a lot for you. So don't get lost in the macro of it. Observe the macro of it all. Know what the macro of it all looks like. And then come back to today. What can you do today? Do something. Hope that helps. Have a fantastic day, everybody. Function better.